good afternoon, and welcome to the show. Welcome to United Hour. We are here with me, Robert, the host with the most, and I am joined today by two special guests. I'm here with the president, Mr. Chad, all the way in Port of Spain at 6th Street Lounge on the Avenue, where he witnessed, a not so special, display of football, but we will get to that. And underneath, my good friend, Mr. Alan. How you doing, man? How you doing?
Nice to be here. Nice to be here.
All right. Now, for all of you who don't know, and if you don't know, shame on you. The our Majesty, the Queen, she passed away today. At the ripe young age of 96, I believe.
96, yeah.
Yeah, 96 years old. I mean, she went through, World War II, Vietnam, the oil boom. She saw our country get independence. But today we lose, Arsenal win, and she died. That's put her in the ground. That is not cool. We put her in the ground, and that was not right. She could not take to see our great club playing in the Europa League. She's like, you know what? I'm good in life. I'm good. And she left. But all jokes aside, we here we will express our condolences, to the royal family, to this great woman who had such an impact on history, and it does not have a person in the Caribbean who does not owe this woman some sort of gratitude, because the fact is, if it wasn't for her, none of us would be here. We wouldn't even be doing this show right now with y'all, because this woman was, she was a force of nature. So condolences goes out to the family, and well, to the whole world, and you know, rest in peace. So, on to the show. Manchester United, right?
Well,
Yeah.
before you jump into the show,
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, the Queen would have been very young during World War One,
Mm-hmm.
and she definitely would have been mature and old enough in World War Two. So she would have seen off Hitler, many a prime minister, and many a president. But
Mm-hmm.
apparently, the thought of seeing Cristiano Ronaldo playing in Europa League was too much.
It was too much.
So
It was too much.
condolences to the royal family.
Again, it's. But we are not here for the Queen. We are here for that. What can I say? A shambles of a performance. It was bad. It was good. I watched the game. I was not impressed. It was our second team. You could see that it was our second team. You know, um, Casemiro had his debut today, full game. Ronaldo, his first full game. Harry Maguire, Lindelof, their first full game. I was surprised that De Gea was still in goal. You know, but I guess you keep you keep your goalkeeper. Um, Anthony's full game, but yet somehow the cohesion that has been there for the past three games just wasn't there. So I will pass it on first to the president. How did you see this game today?
I don't know. Did you say you would pass it on to me first or Alan?
No, to you first.
To be honest with you, it's always a bad thing when Manchester United lose.
Hmm.
But I really didn't feel too bad this game, And the
Hmm.
reason I didn't feel too bad this game is because as we created more than enough chances to win. You know, um, we've been wondering why is Casemiro not playing. We've been wondering why is Ronaldo not getting more starts. we've been wondering a lot of things, and I think all of those things got answered today. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
never thought I would say it, but I honestly believe if Rashford had started that game instead of Ronaldo, we would have comfortably won that game 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a lot of opportunities. Ronaldo just doesn't seem up to it as yet. I saw somebody commented saying that, you know, if he didn't play all this shenanigans in the off season and he went to preseason, you know, maybe he would have been up to the pace.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Correct. Yeah.
right? We don't
Correct.
know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not gonna go that far, but clearly we see why the starting 11 in the Premier League is the starting 11 in the Premier League. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? When
Mm-hmm.
when men who don't normally start, and let's call out the men who don't normally get starts: Ronaldo, Casemiro, Lindelof, Maguire, right? When these
Mm-hmm.
four players come on the pitch, and after a game, the best player is Maguire out of the four. The best one out of the four was Maguire. He had the best game out of Ronaldo, Casemiro, Lindelof, Fred, sorry, and Maguire.
Mm-hmm.
Maguire had the best game. That tells you everything you need to know.
No, but then you
Everything
can.
you need to know about why the game ended 1-0
Mm-hmm.
is right there in that
Yeah.
statement I just
But
made.
then you see, you can add Fred to that as well because I mean, Fred also has not been, you know, a feature in our games. But the truth is, we do have a very tricky game on Sunday, you know, and we had to rotate because it would have been
No, I don't
mad.
think we have any Premier League games this weekend because of the Queen's death.
Well,
There's gonna be there's no games, there's no concerts, there's no shows,
mhm,
no comedy shows, nothing going on this weekend until
right.
the funeral.
Oh yes,
So I
yeah,
think it's
okay,
about, yeah. So there's no football in the
right.
UK, not
Hmm.
about elsewhere, but in the UK,
Yeah,
no
right.
football, no league this
But
weekend.
then, who would have known that the Queen would have picked today to say bye? You know, no one could have known that because this woman has been passing away for the past 50 years. So I mean, yes, it was. Yes, we saw the second team, and you saw that huge drop off between our first team and second team. Alan, I mean, you saw the game. Um, what did you think of the performance?
Well, they were mostly lethargic, in a sense that
Mm,
like they were one step off of the pace. Because you see the team that Ten Hag picked for the Premier League is a more pacey team, and
mm-hmm,
these guys and them behind the age, but the touches let them down. You could actually see that there wasn't much ready. You understand? To
mm-hmm,
go with the pace, with the styles of the runs and everything. Because at one point in time, like what everybody was more or less bundled up in the box. Nobody was in particular positions. Like
mm-hmm,
everybody jockeying for the ball, and like they didn't know what they had to do, where they
mm-hmm,
had to stand, to receive a pass. It wasn't the players that played today for me, they wasn't proactive enough what Ten Hag is be looking for. It's
mm-hmm,
like a second thought after, hey, you're supposed to be there, supposed to make this run. It was a lot of confusion for me. That is, and Fred, well, I think that is one of the worst games he really had for this
mm-hmm.
season so far. And I don't think he will have much stats again. Even if it's in Europa League, I don't
Right.
think he will have much stats. He would have to try to either reintroduce Donny or
Mm-hmm.
or McTominay. But we know McTominay is a fit person,
Yeah.
so he might be able to take the grind. Even if it's a half and bring on Donny second half, I think
Mm-hmm.
we will more or less look to do that because they lose the impetus in the midfield. Because Casemiro was basically playing like if he is still playing with Real Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
And the passes, I find some of the passes were like breakfoot passes. It was too slow. You
Yeah.
understand? It was too
Mm-hmm.
slow for me because it things less it just wasn't connecting. And not like
Mm-hmm.
the second team like they wouldn't drill properly. To
Mm-hmm.
move and transition and think through the thirds and stuff. Everything was like a hit and hope. You
Right.
understand? And that I think was the downfall because when Ericsson came off, well you see it didn't have nothing much for
Bruno.
yeah going forward from the defense, straight out of the defense because as I say Casemiro making bad passes along with Fred. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Bruno try something, Bruno had to drop too deep to receive the ball to make something happen. And even
Mm-hmm.
when he tried to pass it through the lines to Fred, it
It
coming back
wasn't. Yeah.
more or less. Because
Mm-hmm.
when
Mm-hmm.
Bruno came on, he had a lot of the ball because he
Mm-hmm.
demanded it.
Yeah.
You
Right.
could you could see somebody who probably understand Ten Hag system and how to make the plays. Anthony started to come back in the game because
Mm-hmm.
like for some reason they only playing left side.
Okay.
Ilanga
Now,
right.
right. Now on Anthony, I'll bring this to you, Chad. On Anthony. Now, today was his first game. He had a he had a blinder of a debut on Sunday. Scored a goal. But to be fair, Sunday game he didn't look too upset. You saw things that he was trying. And obviously he hasn't played football in 3 weeks. He came in the first game. Yes, he scored. You know, but you saw the rust in his game today. Was also very similar. You could see that he's now trying to get into the team. He's now trying to understand his role in the team. He's now trying to understand um, what he is supposed to do. Now, what I saw on Sunday was he had a little bit more of a connection with that first team than with this team. Now, is that again another drawback of using our so-called second team, or is it that this is just, or is it, or is it Anthony is just rusty and he needs to get back match fit?
It's not a case of rustiness with Anthony. It's a case of these guys understanding how he is playing under Ten Hag. It's
Mm-hmm.
quick movements with him. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Proactive
Mm-hmm.
football according to Ten Hag. You have to know the obvious play,
Right.
right? I'm in position. He hanging out wide right through to give an option. When Dallo was on the pitch, it was okay. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? But from the time it reaching to Fred, or himself reached to Lindelof in the back, it
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't going forward as fast as it's supposed to go. So just those few seconds make
Yeah.
a defender come on him. So
Mm-hmm.
it giving him less time to really turn and create something and catch the team backpedaling. You
Right.
understand? Because the ball
Mm-hmm.
is taking too long to come to him. Maguire and
Mm-hmm.
them can't make no 30-yard pass.
No.
Martinez can make a 30-yard pass. Ericsson can make a 30-yard pass. So
Mm-hmm.
anything on the right side there, once Dallo came off, it was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it broke
Yeah.
down. It
All right.
literally broke down, especially when it going through Fred.
Mm-hmm.
You
All right.
understand?
Well, all right. So I'll come to you, Chad. I mean, what did you think of Anthony's first full game?
Ronaldo's first game, you said?
No, no, Anthony.
Anthony's first game. Um, I was cool with Anthony. Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
what I like about Anthony is exactly what we knew we would get with Anthony is high energy going forward, high energy coming back. Right? His defensive work, he is definitely all action all the time. I don't mind him trying things high up the pitch, which is where you should try things. He was one of the few players that didn't make multiple horrible passes in the box. We had a lot of guys just not that final ball. That final ball was lacking a lot today. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but Anthony gave us good energy, and let's be honest. the defender that was on him was also very good. You
Yeah.
know, he gave as well as he got. You know, he fouled him, he kept tight to him, he body him. So Anthony looked good. Anthony looked good. I don't really have an issue with Anthony. And to be honest, I don't really have an issue with how we played. You know, we overall we played well, and that is something. You know, I know we're gonna get to the referee's decision in a while, but overall I enjoyed the play. Anthony Langa as well. He was owning that left side. The defender on that side couldn't make with him at all. So
No.
our wingers did a good job overall.
Mm. All right. And well, you bring me right into the crux of the matter. Now, I know some Arsenal fans would say, well, it's to be right. Because Sunday, right,
Come on.
we got away with a VAR call.
Uh,
Today, VAR, turned around and bit us. So do we all have a right to complain? Do we? Do we?
we have a right to complain because
No,
I
you
can remember.
don't. No, because Sunday we were happy. Sunday we were happy and we were glad and we were like, yes. Now today is Thursday and we are all vexed.
You know why we complaining? Because VAR didn't send this referee to the monitor. And you were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to send him to the monitor because it
Right.
resulted in a goal, just like our own
No,
resulted in a goal.
let, let me tell you something.
I am hearing
That entire decision was
hypocrisy. I'm hearing
garbage.
hypocrisy.
The referee right
Right?
there watching it.
That entire decision was garbage. The man
Mm-hmm.
take a bullet. The
Yes.
defender is going to ground
Yes.
and he's bringing his hand from the sliding position of this towards his body. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
the ball hits him about here. So that is not up here. His hand
No.
not away from his body. So right, that is the first thing. Okay, fine. The referee call it. The VAR official looks at it in slow motion
Mm-hmm.
and then doesn't tell the referee, hey, that is a bad call. Go and check it
No.
out. The VAR
No.
official looks at that in slow motion and said that is okay. The commentator was saying that was a bad call. That was a
Yes.
horrible call. That let me tell you
Yes.
something. English referees have been horrible,
Mm-hmm.
and that is the worst that I have seen. Period.
Mm-hmm.
In Europe.
Yes. I now again, as a fan, I agree. But as the host, I have to play devil's advocate. I have to say it. On Sunday, Arsenal complained about the very same thing, and we rejoiced.
Arsenal could
Now
complain. No, no,
today,
no. It's not the same thing.
It's not the
Arsenal
same
could
thing.
complain, but that was a good call. We
uh-huh,
have right to complain because that is a bad call. That is a
right,
atrocious. That is horrible.
hmm
That
In the
VAR
room.
referee they need to find out who he is and ban
right,
him for
and
the rest of the Europa competition. He must not
hmm
not he mustn't even be the touchline referee. He shouldn't even be a
hmm
water boy in a stadium. That is how bad that
hmm
decision was.
Yeah,
no,
because
no, it was. I mean, I saw it in real time. At first, I was like, it was kind of weird, but then in slow motion, you saw that it went from his knee
his
to
tie
his
is
hand,
from his
and
tie.
he did turn away, and he did turn away, from it. Now, again, is that a question of UEFA again at fault? Is it VAR again at fault? So, and then who now is at fault for this? Who?
Well, based on the rules, right? If it strike the opponent body first before hitting the hand, it's supposed to be disallowed. It's not a handball because it
Mm,
happened in the World Cup with Argentina. But that's
mm,
my side. And
right.
and this fella who used to play with this player who used to play with Manchester United, Rojo, it
Mm,
it came off his head first before it struck his hand, right?
mm,
And the VAR went over it again and they had disallowed it. You understand? The team that I think they was playing Nigeria and they complain, but they explain the rules of the game. If
mm,
it hit your hand if it is another part of your body that is legal and then strike in your hand, it could never be given. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Because that changed the whole trajectory of the ball. And we had a shout too for a handball. And when the defender headed back out and hit his player in the box, but it hit it off his chest and struck his arm and slowed down the ball. So I think Fred was coming in to try to retain possession, and the defender kicked it away. Now
Mm-hmm.
that is a call for penalty too, because it strike him in the box and it strike
Mm-hmm.
him off of his chest. So the same thing should have applied, but the referee
Mm-hmm.
again waved it also. It looked like something was up there. You understand? He ain't giving no proper calls, especially if both of them is the same way it happened. Striking off a body part first and
Mm-hmm.
then hitting the arm. So
Right.
everything safely
So
again.
now again, so is this a question of referee decisions not being consistent?
No,
I
VAR
mean,
is VAR. It's not the referee, it's
No,
VAR.
it's
Because
not. It's not the referee. It's not VAR being inconsistent. That decision was just wrong. It was trash.
yes, it was
You know
wrong.
what I
Yes,
mean?
yes,
Sometimes
I
the one
agree.
thing,
Mm-hmm.
because you see everything Alan just said there, that is
Yes.
exactly it. And what Greg's saying in
Mm-hmm.
the comments, that is, if
Mm-hmm.
everybody, let me tell you something. As a fan, you would normally be concerned if your team going to concede a penalty. When they show that in replay, everybody here at 63 was like, nah, 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 I know no penalty. And we were
Mm-hmm.
shocked. I mean,
Yes.
literally fall off your chair shocked. You understand what I'm saying? When it is, you see it was actually a penalty. How? It
No,
was just a
yes.
bad, bad, bad,
Mm-hmm.
bad,
Right. But then again,
bad
my
call.
right. So again, who do we talk to about this? Because again, this is a question of not just to me, this is a question of poor refereeing and poor VAR. Because what's the point of having VAR if you're seeing something that is blatantly wrong, but yet nobody, message the referee to say your decision is wrong. So
yeah,
who
but
has the final decision?
yeah,
Is
but it's
it
still
the
based on
VAR or was it the
interpretation,
referee?
But all the evidence was there to interpret it properly. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Because with
Mm-hmm.
the Ericsson foul on Sunday against Arsenal,
Right.
they had to look deep in the actions of Odegaard to really see that he put his both hands on him and actually push out at Ericsson.
Mm-hmm.
He never touched the ball and all too. So they
Right.
look at everything possible
Mm-hmm.
to overturn that decision.
Right.
You
So
understand why
then,
why the tele referee will go to the monitor.
correct. So then, where was that official today to tell the referee you are doing something that is
Apparently he don't know
wrong?
the rules. Apparently he
So
don't know
then,
the
if
rules.
the referee don't know the rules, then why is he there? Why is he
Beats
there?
me. Beats
That,
me.
that, that I mean, now you could now you see, and then the thing is that we lost the game today. Now, this true, yes, yes, we didn't play as well as we should have, but it is very hard, you know, again to lose a game because of very, very poor refereeing decisions. It is, you
I
know.
can understand how offside by millimeters to give a
Mm-hmm.
goal or not give a goal. If a forward score from an
Mm-hmm.
offside position might be two. You understand? But
Mm-hmm.
that was too blatant. You
Right.
understand? That was definitely too blatant because the ball trajectory changed and went up.
Yes.
Not that it was
So
not up
then.
already flying to the goal, like what happened with Manchester against PSG. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? He changed the course of the trajectory of the ball. Because the ball was heading to the goal. It may have gone over the bar, we never know, but he changed the whole trajectory. You understand? Same way um um Lissandro Tai changed the trajectory of the ball, end up
Mm-hmm.
striking him under the armpit. Now, not to say
Yeah.
strike him on the forearm, which part illegal, you know. It
Mm-hmm.
strike him underneath the armpit because the one that Lissandro cleared off the line from Bruno, miss kick in the
Yeah,
box.
it was very
Again,
yes.
right
Mm-hmm.
against
Mm-hmm.
is against Liverpool or one yeah against Liverpool.
Yeah.
That hit Lissandro right up in his
On it.
armpit the
Mm-hmm.
same way on the goal line.
And it
You
was
understand?
and it wasn't called.
It wasn't called. The no, the Liverpool players appealed. But when they
Right.
look back at it, because VAR
So,
was checking it,
mhm.
VAR was checking it and they realized it hit him up on the armpit.
Right. So then again, the question is consistency. Why is there no consistency in VAR and the referees?
I think some of these referees and them need to go back in training because
Well, you had a look at just human error, and
Mm-hmm.
really and truly the question you're asking, none of us could answer, but it's a valid question because the whole
Mm-hmm.
idea of VAR was to take human error out of it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
if you have a referee who understands the rules, right, the referee in the VAR room and the referee on the field supposed to be operating from the same book. You know, the
Correct.
two
that
different books. It's the same book, same rules.
Mm-hmm.
So the man who's seeing it on the screen in slow motion is supposed to make a perfect decision because he understands the rules and he could say, well, yeah, you know, that this is what it is. But when you're seeing these bad VAR calls, you have to ask yourself, why are these referees making these errors? Because this is
Mm-hmm.
human error now. You understand what I'm saying? You have the benefit of slow motion, and it's still making a bad call.
and it will
Mm-hmm.
it
I
will
don't know.
just it will just transfer onto the on field referee and make the on field referee look bad because these things
Mm-hmm.
is happening so fast.
Yeah.
Split second. You
Yeah.
understand? So as I say, it's a judgment call based on body action, probably the player personality. Because I hear
Mm-hmm.
plenty people say if that was Bruno who get fouled against Arsenal,
Arsenal.
they
Mm-hmm.
will never give it. Yeah, understand? VAR might not give it because they say Bruno is go down too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Understand?
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
there's are some calls that is really go against him. You
Yeah.
understand? Sometimes a reputation is tend to precede you. But
Exactly.
this
Mm.
was a game changer. It
Yeah.
was
I mean,
really but
yes,
they
it
start to
was.
defend. After that, they score a goal, they start to defend. Because they know we
Yes.
have to come at them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they get so much
And
opportunities too.
yes, and the thing is that I mean, after the goal, yes, we began to push forward. You know, Eric made subs, and we seemed to have a little bit more urgency. But yet there was no killer pass, there was no cutting edge. You know, and I mean, how did you all find the subs were after the goal? Chad, I mean, I will go with you first.
Well, really and truly, you had to look at the results, right? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't mind the subs. It was nice to see Ganacho finally get a run out. But we were creating more in the first half than we were creating in the second half, right? We
Mm-hmm.
were causing more trouble in the first half than in the second half. So taking off Anthony Langa, I really don't see how we didn't improve as a team.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that we improved as a team when we took off Anthony as well. So the subs really didn't improve the game. Again, I'm not saying we didn't create chances. We did create chances in the second half. We should have. We had some good clear chances in the second half as well. But to me, overall, we performed better in the first half. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't say that I was. I mean, it just shows you. I mean, let's be real. The biggest letdown was Lindelof adds right back because in the first half they weren't getting in all those crosses from the right. But as soon as we put Lindelof in that position, they were actually attacking us on the right consistently and
Mm-hmm.
getting
Mm-hmm.
crosses in the box. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't want to say that the problem was with the subs per se, because the subs that came on didn't perform badly. I'm not saying that the subs performed badly, but overall the subs didn't improve our game and it made us more vulnerable in the back. We really need a proper, and when I say proper, I mean style of play that he could do the work close to what Delo does or even better than Delo. You understand? We need that cover on the right hand side, and this game highlighted that as well. And one other thing I want to say, I spoke earlier about Maguire being the best out of the non-regular starters.
Mhm.
We have to accept and appreciate that the starting 11 that we see regularly in the Premier League right now is the best starting 11 at Manchester United. And that game today proved it. Yes, we created chances, but the lack of final quality. Bruno came on and immediately, almost from his first touch, he could have had an assist. You know what I mean? Ericsson, when he was on the pitch, was the best player on the pitch at the time. You know, Malacia and Delo were balling things. And as soon as these guys came off, Ericsson, Malacia, Delo, you know, we weren't looking to the races at all.
Everything fall down. The intensity wasn't there. The passing, the movement, it was too lethargic and slow. And too telegraph. Because we also said that started to read everything, to know which part, who gonna receive the ball, the realize the style of play and where the ball moving through the thirds from. You understand? Because more or less Casemiro, as I say, Casemiro, these killer man, these breakfoot passes, he want to be playing some of them soft, he undercooking some of them. You understand? It's like, come on, and his decision sometime in the final today wasn't proper for me. You understand? It really wasn't proper for me because they had opportunities, like everybody wanted to go for glory.
Yeah.
In the last few minutes, when if they think team, it will be better. A more team play, team possession, and an extra pass probably could have mean something better. And instead of Sancho attempt, when you get a good cross, you going for that ball that coming across with your foot, nah man.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not as Satan.
Well, I have to say, I mean, good afternoon to everybody in the comments, to Courtney and Siraj, Nigel, Martin, Philip, Greg B. Good afternoon, and guys, make sure, thank you again for watching and continue to support. Make sure like the video, subscribe the video, share. Now we are gonna move on to some non-Manchester news. Thomas Tuchel has been fired from Chelsea, and he will be replaced by Mr. Graham Potter. Graham Potter from Brighton. Hear the words: Graham Potter and Brighton go to Chelsea. Now, I have two questions. How long will it take for Graham Potter to be fired from Chelsea? Chad.
End of the season.
I know, I understand that as a man in the media, you want to go for the bacchanal question first. But really and truly, that is not the question. The question is,
Alan said,
what is the direction Chelsea will take? Because if Chelsea go in the right direction, if they give Graham Potter the influence that he had at Brighton, and if they give him the backroom staff that he wants, Graham Potter could be at Chelsea for a while. If it is they treat Graham Potter the way that Chelsea traditionally treats managers, which is like, they just, you come and, like your role is to be the coach on the pitch. Everything in the back here is our role, right? You just stay there. If they treat Graham Potter like that, he may not be in the job very long. But if they give Graham Potter power and influence, he may be there very long, and he may very well take Chelsea to be a regular thorn in our side. Because what Graham Potter has done with Brighton right now is one of the hardest teams to play against in the Premier League. And that is totally because of Graham Potter. So, he could be there, but it all depends on how they decide to treat him. If there's a change in philosophy in the back room where Chelsea is concerned.
I think they will watch the position they end up in the season if they make the Champions League places. also too, because remember for the last few years, Chelsea just making it. You understand? They
All right.
just make it in the last 2 seasons, and they
I
won the Champions League last year. So
I'll ask a question to everybody in the comments, the Courtney and everybody in the comments. Let me know how many weeks will Potter last in the job. I say weeks.
nah, man,
Graham Potter will be fired by November.
nah, that would be too embarrassing
November.
on Bowley.
Um, Graham Potter, right? Is from Brighton. They had how many draws last year? These he
I
doesn't
like
know how to win.
I like I like Courtney's comments about playing for survival versus winning. I mean, we all know about David Moyes. Very good, very good, very good as a mid-table coach. You
Again,
understand? And when he
Christmas.
got his big job, he popped down. And there are many managers like that, right?
Frank
Um,
Lampard.
you know, whether Graham Potter is going to be one of them, I don't know. But I could only say what I see. And Graham Potter has impressed me personally with what he has done at Brighton.
Alan. We all know, right? We all know. Chelsea likes to hire these fancy coaches, right? And when things go wrong, they get rid of them, right? So, I mean, Alan, you tell me,
That
how
is
do
why
you
I'm saying
think Chelsea will go?
that is what I'm saying. Based on his position, how we get the team to react. Right now,
Hmm.
Chelsea is either here or there. Remember the now spend almost over 300 million on players
Right?
to
On
bring it up.
whose players? On whose players?
Well, like
Two
Tuchel
shell
players,
players.
Tuchel wanted those
What
players,
will
but
what can Harry Potter and I'm not and from now on his name is Harry Potter. What can Harry Potter do with Abamayang? You tell me.
Fellas,
the same thing he
just
did.
know it, Alan.
Mm,
I want before we go into Graham Potter and what he could do at Chelsea, we need to just make it clear that
Okay.
Cristiano Ronaldo has gotten has thrown another manager under the bus. You understand what I'm saying? When I heard this news, right? We had a group call in one of the chats I'm in. The morning of the news. And in that the news now break, just break. The news was fresh. And I told the guys, I said, you know why they fired Tuchel? Because the owner of the club wanted Ronaldo. And Tuchel didn't want Ronaldo. And afterwards, all the papers started reporting it. Because that is exactly it. When the owner wants something and you say no and leak it to the press, no, right? Then we hear that he called Ralph and Ralph tell him Ronaldo will be an issue in the dressing room and wherever. When the owner back you and spend so much money,
Hmm.
right? Didn't buy the player he wanted. Went and get you the players you want, and you not winning, you're supposed to get fired. You understand what I'm saying? And
there we
Tuchel
go.
had a right to get your bus because you're not winning. And as far as I'm concerned, Ronaldo was supposed to go Chelsea. You understand? And Tuchel would have still been at work today, and we would have
No,
been
you won't.
happier because we'd have had somebody else on the pitch today that would have scored.
Who? Who?
Right? So
Who,
I
Martial?
am upset
Who?
about that.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But again, ask the question: how long will he be there? And most importantly, did anybody think about Brighton? What about Brighton? You tell me. I mean, Brighton, right? It's being coached by Adam Lallana. Adam Lallana is coaching Brighton. So,
I don't know if
what
you're
is
talking to me, but I didn't hear what you said. So let Alan go
no?
ahead.
Yeah.
You asking the question. He's saying that Adam Lallana coaching Brighton right now.
Right.
He's just the caretaker until they
No,
get
no,
a
no, no.
new
He's the
coach.
coach. So right now, Brighton are in free fall. Correct.
I wouldn't say that, they have a system, they have a system that they probably working with right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a transition from one coach to the next. They don't have this system, the style of play.
Okay.
We'll see if it will last. It may not last. But I don't think they will change the style of play.
I think I think all of us was waiting to see. I was looking forward to the weekend games to see exactly what it is you're talking about. Is Brighton going to continue taking forward steps, or are they going to be like they hit a wall and they just follow? Right? Um, I think that also depends on the backroom staff. If Graham Potter leaves his assistant coaches at Brighton there now, and they get promoted into the position, Brighton should have some kind of continuity. If Graham
Mm-hmm.
Potter takes all of his coaches with him to Chelsea, that's a different kettle of fish,
That's
right?
it.
Mm-hmm.
So time alone will
I,
tell what effect this will have on Brighton.
yeah, and the
Um,
thing is, right, that I have three players in my fantasy team from Brighton. I have three players, and they be getting me points regularly.
I
So
I
all of
I
you
have
guys
Pascal
know,
Gross and Sanchez as
right?
well on my fantasy team, and I
So
right now I watching to see because anytime I see anything slipping in the performances, them fellas should gain bust one time.
oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, hey. I
it's
mean,
fantastic
I
football.
mean, Graham Potter. I wish you luck. I do, but we all know by Christmas you gone. We all know that.
The
By
Taddy
Christmas
World
he
Cup to
gone.
interfere with that. The Taddy World Cup to interfere with that. You got the
Mm, it's
execution.
nah,
He ain't
it's
gonna be able to
Chelsea.
get no. I doubt they will buy players him in January. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? I doubt they will buy players because remember he had Cucurella there that they sell them. So he
Yeah.
know Cucurella. See,
Mm-hmm.
that could be one player that could probably help him with his style of football
Mm-hmm.
there. You
All right.
understand?
All
And
right.
well, it's just for him to get power over the rest of the players who they're the young players like Mount and them and teach them a different way of playing. But remember the players complaining that Tuchel had them playing out of position. You understand? That's why they
Mm-hmm.
wasn't performing to the max.
All right.
So let's see if Graham Potter will realize this and play these players and them in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to see how it goes. So that I tell you, it will be too soon because the amount of competitions that they have going on right now and the World Cup, the international break, it will be too soon.
All
That will
right.
be because that will be more embarrassment on them because they had like about three other good candidates
Mm-hmm.
that I think had better pedigree than
Correct.
than, than Potter for
Mm-hmm.
them to actually bring in.
All
You
right.
understand?
All
So
right.
Graham Potter is like a long shot because of how he performed last season, how good he performed last season.
You know.
You know,
All
I
right.
was
No,
I was actually I was actually
Mm-hmm.
hoping that they would have go for Pochettino because I
Yeah.
really more concerned about Potter turning Chelsea around. Because
Mm-hmm.
you see the fear with these guys, which is also the misleading thing, is if you could do well with average players, you could do better with better players, right? David Moyes shows that is not always the case, right? So we know that is not always the case. But if it is the case with Graham Potter, we have to be concerned. You understand what I'm saying? Because the
Mm-hmm.
players he have now are way better than the players he had at Brighton. So
All
if he
right.
could get this Chelsea team to click, so I was when I saw the list, I was like, yeah, well, I really hope that they get Pochettino. I wouldn't mind
Mm-hmm.
Pochettino at Chelsea at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, well, again, I am just wait and see what happens. Now, Ronaldo, Ronaldo, Ronaldo. It cannot have a show without Ronaldo. Now, we have seen this team play 4 games on the bounce. You win today. the team didn't play well. Now the question is, can Ronaldo fit in this team? And now I would give my 2 cents, on this matter. Now I would say, as it is right now, Ronaldo really and truly has his place in this team has to be on the bench. He has to come on as some kind of some kind of impact sub. Ronaldo cannot really be starting that many games, right? Now, if he is willing to fit himself into that mold, I think he will be a great addition to our squad. But if he is not, you know, then it may be a time to move him on. So, Chad, I will ask you first. I mean, can Ronaldo really fit in this team?
I know a lot of people may feel that I am anti-Ronaldo. I mean,
Because you
I
are.
haven't been told that.
I'd
I haven't
say
been
it
told
now.
that. But
Say
I
it
know
now.
some people may feel that way. So let me start off by saying the positives. Ronaldo's attitude has been excellent. You understand when Anthony scored on the weekend, him standing up and clapping, him coming off the bench with a smile on his face. You know, he still pouts when people don't pass him the ball. He still does these things. But generally, his attitude has been very good. We haven't been hearing any leaks about Ronaldo upset, feel betrayed by the club because they didn't facilitate a move or any foolishness like that. So I need to start off by giving Ronaldo kudos, right? I consider his change of attitude very good. The second thing I need to say is I believe that change of attitude is because Ronaldo is a broken man. You know, they talk about like breaking an animal, you break a dog. I think Ronaldo at this late stage in his career is a broken man. It's the first time in his life that he said, hey, I'm available. Who wants me? And the answer was no one. You understand what I'm saying? It is not that Manchester United prevented Ronaldo from going. It is that nobody came, nobody was interested in Ronaldo. Nobody didn't even come with a silly offer. The one offer we get from Napoli, right, was a trade. We take Ronaldo, we sell you our striker for 100 and something million, and you pay Ronaldo's salary. That'll be a joke. That is not a serious offer. You understand what I said? That is a joke. That is not a serious offer at all. So I think Ronaldo was like, you know, when you realize, as Robert would say, Robert would understand this analogy very well, and I'm not fat shaming anybody. But you know, when you realize you just passed your prime, you know, and you put on a little too much weight as a woman, and you realize your option, you used to bust style before when you was scurvy and you was young and everybody was running you down. You could have bust style, but there comes a time in evolution when you had to realize, I need to be nice and I need to be polite, and maybe I need to go and offer a guy to buy a drink if I'm going to get through at all tonight. You understand? It come, and I think that's what has gone on with Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo is realizing what's going on.
Ways!
I am not as attractive as I used to be, and if it is the talk behind the scenes, right? Because I am sure his agent would have been told what the owner of Chelsea was told by Tuchel, and other people would have been saying that you are a problem in the dressing room. So when all of this gets back to Ronaldo, what is he going to do? He is going to say, well, yeah, what I need to show something else. I have to show something to show these guys that because I believe Ronaldo still wants a move. After this game here today, even though he missed a lot of shots, you think Ronaldo wants to play in Europa? Of course not. If a team comes in January for Ronaldo that play in Champions League, and if they play in Champions League in January, it means in the knockout stages. Of course, Ronaldo is going to want to go. But he recognizes that the talk around Ronaldo is not his goals, but his attitude in the dressing room. So he had a change. I am glad for the change. It benefits Manchester United. So I am glad for the change. But, Ronaldo is clearly not what he was before, and we had to try to our best to make it work as long as he with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
Ronaldo for me used to be
And
a
I
coach.
agree with you, Robert, that right now Ronaldo's place is on the bench. After that performance today, I never in my life thought I would ever say what I said at the beginning of this program. That if we started Rashford and he got the exact same chances Ronaldo got, we would have won that game 3-0. I never thought in my life I would ever say that comparing
Mm-hmm.
Ronaldo to Rashford. But Ronaldo got two true balls. He got to the ball first, and in both occasions, the defender caught him. If that was
Mm-hmm.
Rashford, that was goal. It had
Yeah.
no way they was catching Rashford,
Even if that was
right?
the Langa and
And some of
all.
them headers as well, I think Rashford may have done a little better as well. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he's finished. Do I think Ronaldo have goals in him? Yes. But right now, the people who starting, whether it's Rashford, whether it's Scott, right, whether it's Martinez and Varane, whoever, the people who starting right now in the regular starting 11, all of them deserve the starting spots.
Mm-hmm.
No, nobody today benching anybody in the next game. Trust me.
No.
It's not supposed to.
Mm-mm.
It's
No, you're
not
not
supposed
supposed to. No, because I mean, because what I saw in the Arsenal game, especially when he came on as a sub, even Arsenal all were they moved their game to suit Ronaldo because they all assumed that Ronaldo can't run. And they had their line very high, which again allowed Rashford and Ericsson to get in behind. Because this is what happened. And that's why I'm saying his position right now has to be on the bench to come on as an impact. So I mean, so Alan, I'll ask you. I mean, where is Ronaldo's? Where do you see Ronaldo fitting in this team, or can he fit at all?
to me again, he's off the pace. Whether or
Mm-hmm.
not he had the preseason, yes or no, even if he had a preseason, I believe he'll still be off the pace based on his leg strength. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? His legs just not there. He not accustomed to playing a system where you have to do so much running. He's more or less
Mm-hmm.
a target man all the time. You
Yeah.
understand? Wingers
Mm-hmm.
will make the plays down the line and put it on his head, put it cut it back for him come trailing in like a number
Mm-hmm.
10. That is his game. But
Yeah.
Ten Hag game is not that. Is
Mm-hmm.
play and move.
Mm-hmm.
Find yourself in the various positions to give your teammate an option. And Ronaldo ain't ready to do that kind of work again. You
Okay.
understand? Because of his age, one, and two, as I say, he off the pace.
Mm-hmm.
He's not on the pace. You understand? He pouting too much because it had two instances when the keeper dropped the ball. If he was alert and not studying well, okay, it's a bad ball, and Dallo didn't actually put it on my head, or no, it was Anthony, didn't actually put it on my head. If he was concentrating on what was going on, when that keeper dropped that ball, he could have get the ball. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? If he was alert. But
Mm-hmm.
he done turn his back already on the play. You can't turn your back. It come like you didn't appreciate the effort your teammate making to put a pass to you. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And that happened about 3 times. His body language, it not right. It's not
Mm-hmm.
right. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? And best position, as you say, is coming off the bench for real because he watching and he impressed how Rashford and them operating and playing that style of football,
Mm-hmm.
that pretty football and scoring goals. That will make
Right.
any player want to come on when they get a
Now
chance and be
I
effective.
will
If,
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
if,
Go ahead.
if, if Ronaldo, if Manchester United playing like a Wrexham Town or a Millwall or some one of these teams in the for the FA Cup, right? Maybe for the first round of the Carabao Cup. Though I think we already know who we playing in the Carabao Cup.
As
I
You
to
think
see
it's
them kind of
Villa.
games,
Yeah.
against Sheriff in the in the next game in the Europa.
mm,
Ronaldo could get starts in them game. But right now, I don't want to see Ronaldo in the Premier League. I don't want to see Ronaldo against Crystal Palace. I don't want to see Ronaldo in them games because right now he in upsets.
Yeah.
Charlie, remember what Ten Hag say? He want to win every competition, you know. He want to go out good. You understand? I think this was just a dress rehearsal to see if the second 11 could really say something, play to the intensity and the aggression that he want. And he didn't see it today. He didn't see it today. So he will be making changes to make sure that the next game they're
Yeah.
going out with a better strength team than that. You understand? Because you make too much
No,
changes
and
to the team.
correct,
But then
correct is
yeah,
right. But I also don't get me wrong. I'm not going to bet against Cristiano Ronaldo. I am not going to bet against Cristiano Ronaldo. One, because I'm a United supporter, and two, I'm a Ronaldo supporter. I like Ronaldo, so I'm not going to bet against him. He is one of the greatest players that I've ever played the sport, and I know Ronaldo is going to score goals. I know this team is going to produce opportunities for Ronaldo to score goals. So I am just hoping that that he could get to the level that is required sooner rather than later. Because right now, when Ronaldo comes in off the bench, now he did contribute in the third goal at Arsenal. His pressing was responsible for the goalkeeper bad pass that created the opportunity. So I'm not saying, but I want Ronaldo to be an impact player, whether starting or coming off the bench, because that makes the team overall better. As it is right now, he's not really doing that. So let's hope that he could hit the required level sooner rather than later, as well as Casemiro.
Yeah.
I am glad to see Scott McTominay keeping Casemiro on the bench as well. But really and truly, we all know Casemiro is a better player than Scott McTominay, right? So I am hoping that these guys could bring up the levels, because if they bring up the levels, it means the overall performance of the team will also improve. Um, Courtney is talking about Ilanga. In the comments, he was asking, "What's about Ilanga?" And I understand. I agree with him that Ilanga had a good game. But the person who have Ilanga on the bench is Anthony.
Exactly. Yeah.
And Anthony also had a good game. Do I prefer to see Ilanga in the starting 11 than Anthony right now? The answer is no. I prefer to see Anthony. So yes, Ilanga had a good game, and I must big him up for that. He had a very good game. But he had to stay on the bench too. He's
Ilanga,
an impact sub as well in the league.
yeah, Ilanga come like Solskjaer when Solskjaer used to play with Manchester United. Back in the days, he had so much good subs that he could have called on, to do a job. If you're top, you're starting three, and really saying anything in a game and a game going tight, you really need somebody to come on with
Come
the
off the bench.
sheer
Yeah.
pace that he has, to make a difference. And with his pace, he could make a difference. He runs that he is make. But to me, I don't know. Ilanga finishing in this
It,
level, it's
yes.
kind of poor. You understand? For me, it's kind of poor. You understand? Some of the decisions that he is make, it kind of way off. You
Yeah.
understand? Passing in the final third, it really not there. He need to be a little more clinical.
Well.
Because the same thing Rashford was going through with some of his decision makings a few seasons ago. And I think he more or less correct that with the style of play now under Ten Hag, that he's looking a little more clinical than usual. But
Yeah. All
Ilanga
right.
needs to change that, get a little more clinical and better decision making.
Well, if it's one thing, I'm not worried about the team, that we have Eric and Eric has a plan. And I believe he will bring the best out of all our players between now and the end of the season. I honestly believe that our second team will improve because he will have them guys running. So I think by the time that we face Sheriff, I think he would see. I think he would start the same team, but I think we would see a vast improvement, in that team. But we move on to our next topic on the record. Now I'm going to ask you guys a question, and this is to be on the record. So then we will come back to it, later on and see, are you guys, well versed, or are you really and truly, you know, you're just here for no reason except that you all know me, right? So on the record, how far can Manchester get in the Europa League? Alan, I'll start with you. How far will we get in the Europa League? Now you can't say we will win it. You could if you want to. You could. But how far do you honestly think that we will get?
Well, based on the new rules that it have now, where only the top team, the winners of the group, going straight to the round of 16, and then the second place had the playoff with the Champion League third place team. It might be a little tricky based on um based on form at the time. If these fellas and them the second team players could really come up to speed in time, so where Tenor could actually trust them to throw them in to give other players a rest, because you can't play with the same team right through.
No.
But if all goes well and he more or less tweak it by the next 5 games, I do see they have a problem reaching the round of 16. Right when they reach the round of 16, anything can go there. But I believe they can reach the round of 16.
Good afternoon, Mark Lewis. How are you doing? Good afternoon. Yeah, Chad, I'm going to ask you on the record, how far do you think Manchester will get?
I heard the question. I think we can reach the finals. I think this team should reach to the Europa finals. Anything less than the finals, I think, is a disappointment. Simply because as we go through the gears, this team talent-wise is good enough to win this competition, or at the very least to reach the finals. And I think the team play and the performance, would improve with time.
Yeah.
So I expect Manchester United to make a fight.
All right.
The first 11 can reach the finals, but I know about the second 11. For me, I know what the second 11.
All right. Well, fair enough.
Let me just say happy anniversary to Mark Lewis. Big up yourself.
Happy anniversary. I mean, the man get jersey, the man get prize. I mean, what else Mark Lewis ain't get? I want to know. No.
And also, apart from Bruno Fernandes, whose birthday it was today, the man Big Phil birthday is also today. So big him up too. Big up yourself.
Big up Phil.
Happy birthday, Big Phil.
Now, for our favorite segment, of the show, the top shotter and Booboo Man. For all those who still don't know what this is, the top shotter is just that person who has had the best week. Everything goes great. You win the lottery, and everything is just beautiful. And a Booboo is where everything is just poor. You come outside, it's always raining. You step in dog mess. You all of life's challenges just on you, and everything is just wrong. Booboo Man. So, I think I will start with Chad. Give me your top shotter and your Booboo. And don't be obvious.
My top shotter had the week had to be Anthony. First game for the club, first game in Old Trafford, and you score a goal, and you just do what all of us, things that would endear the fans to you by celebrating in front of the Arsenal supporters. So Anthony definitely. And then you back it up by a second game. Okay, he didn't score, he didn't have any assists, but Anthony had a good game. So, when you make that kind of transfer for all that money, you need to show that you're worth it. And Anthony has definitely done that. So my top shutter for the week is Anthony. My boo-boo for the week is Tuchel. Um, you know, yeah, all kind of thing coming out about the man, about players losing respect for him because he's going through a divorce and he have a young girlfriend and all kind of drama. I try to understand. I now understand why he did what he did with Conte when they were playing Spurs. Because there was talk behind the scenes that maybe he's lost the fire and lost the fight. So he probably used that situation with Spurs to try to show, that he has some fight in him. But I think Tuchel seems to be on the same trajectory as Klopp, right? I have two boo-boos, Tuchel and Klopp. Of these guys that come from the Bundesliga and they burn bright and then they burn out. Because Tuchel has burnt out, clearly. Team wasn't playing well underneath him. And I think it may have taken Klopp 7 years, but he is also burning out as well. Klopp has definitely lost the brightness. That Liverpool team is not looking good, and they like to make excuses for Liverpool, whether it's injuries or whatever it is. But the bottom line is the team is garbage right now. Right now, Liverpool looks horrible, plain and simple. And don't give me no excuses. The team is looking horrible. You understand what I'm saying? The last game they played, the defense looked a shambles. You understand? From Van Dijk, we don't talk about Alexander-Arnold. Everybody look like they just roughing him up right now, pushing him out the way and going down the wing. So that's my two boo-boos, Tuchel and Klopp. And maybe they might reunite in back in the Bundesliga sooner rather than later.
Oh yeah, hey, Alan. I mean, give me yours. Oh, you're muted.
I see Chad take one of my boo-boos. That is the Liverpool team. But I will get the whole back four. So it's 4 boo-boos I had it. That game that they play against Napoli, I find Napoli look real good. Right? Anthony was my top shutter, really, but I had to give it, seeing that Chad done say it already, I'll give it to Napoli because Napoli play a well-organized and tactical game against Liverpool. You understand? And I like how they look. They really look like a Champions League team that take a minnow. They make Liverpool look like a minnow. Run them and them bad. Silence them because they know they had a history from in the Champions League. They had a history, so them just get one up on Liverpool there. So they can't say nothing. So that is my top shutter was the Napoli team for dismantling Liverpool because I'm a Liverpool hater.
Right.
Liverpool back 4.
Right.
Real
Well, then I will make it 3-3. My top shutter again will be Anthony. Anthony came, $85 million. Everyone said, oh, he's a flop. Oh, he did this. He's a merchant. He from Holland. The man came, scored a goal. He put all the doubters to rest. And he looked very comfortable with the price. He didn't shirk away from from the limelight. He looked very normal in it. So I will say Anthony is my top shutter. And my boo-boo, obviously, it's not just Arsenal. Arsenal fans in the whole. These men, 5 games in, talking about invincibles. 5 games, invincibles. Right? I want to say boo-boos to them men who came on Sunday to Iron Grill, who made signature jerseys. These men made jerseys, paid money, right, for jerseys to come to an event and lose. You don't understand. These men made jerseys, personalized jerseys, and lost. I went on a show last night, and the host was very salty. He was very, very salty, But again, you lost. You invite me on your show and you lost. Man, Arsenal, Arsenal fans, all of them, boo boos of the week. All. Every single last one of you go down. Every one of you. Because Manchester, we do one thing. We end Arsenal runs. That is what we do. All day, every day. That is what we do. So I have to say thank you very much to everybody in the comments for coming on. Mark Lewis, yes. Boost for the month. For the month. Yes, Mark Lewis. Big up to everyone in the comments. Thank you very much to Alan for coming on tonight. Thank you to President Shad for being on, and to everybody keep liking the videos. Thank you again for the support. Continue to share, to subscribe. And I will say it as President Chad always says, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply. Good night, everybody.
Good night.